Everyone's so distracted with Debo Samuel wearing AJ Brown's jersey that they've forgotten what the big Debo story of the last, 10 months is, which is, do you remember? Like before the draft and after the draft, this was the year that everybody predicted would be Debo Samuel's last year. And here we are in February. And does it feel like Debo Samuel's about to be on another team? Well, it's the first part is who's trading for him. That's very difficult. His production wasn't really good enough to trade, and his salary makes it pretty prohibitive. And the way they played him this year again reminded everybody that had forgotten, because I think people forgot last year. And I do think they would have traded him last year. And I do think they would trade him this year, but they're not trading him for like a fifth. Why? Because Kyle Shanahan needs his production. He relies on him. We went through it many times this year. 2 years ago, 2023, 2 seasons ago, Deebo was second on the team in touches. Christian McCaffrey had 10 million, and then Deebo. This year, Deebo was third on the team in touches. He had 93 touches behind Jordan Mason and Isaac Guerendo. And if McCaffrey hadn't been hurt, Deebo would have been second on the team in touches. It's just Guerendo and Mason kind of split all the McCaffrey touches. And so it pushed Deebo down. But Deebo was basically the key to the offense again in Kyle Shanahan's mind based on how much he touched the football. Now, part of that was, Ayuk didn't. Ayuk was healthy the year before, having a career year. And he didn't have as many touches. So Deebo's going to be your number one touch guy after Christian McCaffrey. And they treated him like that with Christian McCaffrey healthy, with Brandon Ayuk healthy, and they treated him just about like that with McCaffrey and Ayuk out. Now, Tim Kawakami did a podcast with David Lombardi the other day for the SF Standard. And he said this, quote, "I think Deebo's a candidate to sign an extension at a lower number." And then I'll paraphrase more of what he said. And maybe Deebo takes offense to it, but ultimately does it the same as Kyle Juszczyk last year. And if he doesn't want to take it, then maybe they move on. Remember, and this is what we all talked about. I think I was the first to point this part out and then the first to say, I'm not convinced it's Deebo's last year. But post June 1, as everybody knows, but let's refresh, you can cut Debo Samuel for a dead cap hit of $10 million this year and a $5 million cap savings. Where it really benefits you is in 2026, where you have a $26 million savings and a dead cap hit of $10 million. Now, one thing Lombardi pointed out is that March 22nd might be a day to keep an eye on for Deebo because he has an option bonus on March 22nd. So I'm not sure what that number is, but keep an eye out on mark your calendars. Connor can mark his calendar for our group calendar for March 22nd. But I think here we are a season later, and where's the momentum? Where's the momentum on Deebo being gone? To me, the only tea leaf you have to read is, did you watch the season? I know you did. Did Kyle Shanahan treat Debo Samuel like a guy he doesn't need or a guy he needs? He treated Deebo like a guy he needs. So I know some are upset because Deebo wore an A.J. Brown jersey at Radio Row. What is the message he's sending? What is he saying? Well, Deebo is a guy that likes messing around and sending messages, and he likes tweaking people, and he likes getting under people's skin. In this case, I'm not so sure it's aimed at I don't think it's aimed at the 49ers. I think it's kind of more directed, believe it or not, in like the Eagles direction. Like, hey, if there are sides to be taken, just make it clear. Same agent, Tory Dandy. I'm on AJ Brown's side. I'm with this guy. So yeah, you wouldn't like it. And you know what? 20 years ago, you wouldn't have seen it. But in all sports, not just the NBA, loyalties are less to teams and more to friends. And like it or not, that's the way to, even though he's taken. Now, look, I think people have taken it to mean like Deebo, the Eagles will no longer be a rival to Deebo. Like, no. Deebo's gotten into it with the Eagles before. You put the Niners and the Eagles in a big game, and Deebo will get into it with the Eagles again. He'll have no problem finding hate in his heart in an Eagles game. And Niner fans and Eagle fans will have no problem finding hate in their hearts. And Kyle Shanahan will have no problem being like, I don't want to lose to Nick Sirianni. And Fangio will want to stick it to Brock Purdy and to Kyle. And Kyle will want to stick it to Fangio. And the whole thing, the whole thing. The rivalry will not lose any luster because what loses the luster is when the Niners win 6 games and don't play in the playoffs, let alone meet the Eagles in a meaningful game. But the second they play in a big game again, all that will be back. But as someone who's been saying, I just want to point out here as we end the season, I've been saying not that Deebo can't be gone. And I haven't been even saying it wouldn't be smart. Like, it might be smart if you can find a way. But I watched the season. I know how much he means to Kyle Shanahan. It's clear. It upset people at times. I think the chatter has kind of calmed down on this must be Deebo's last year. This must be Deebo's last year. And to hear Kawakami say, well, actually what they might do is save money, not by cutting him, but save money by extending him, which there will be an uproar if that happens. But the evidence is in. Watch the games. When shit hits the fan, one of Kyle Shanahan's first moves is let's get Deebo involved. And I don't see him unless he finds some other playmaker who he thinks he can rely on. He's coming off an Ayuk injury and a McCaffrey injury. He's got Kittle. He can rely on him. Outside of that, who's his go-to guy? It's Deebo. Deebo's his go-to guy. Producer Connor. What do you think? Where are you at scale of, you don't have to do scale of 1 to 10, but where are you at right now? Deebo on, because if I had to bet right now, Deebo on the team. That's my bet.
Yeah.
2025.
You only save $5 million. I mean, saying only, but
yeah.
Then what do you do with that $5 million? Do you turn it into a player that can help the team win now? Is that going to do so much to where then you also have to replace the receiver? Did Ricky Pearsall make that step fully? I don't think so. Looking back at Deebo's career, it looks like it's almost every other year. Great rookie year, bad 2020. Maybe the camp wasn't good, got hurt. 2021 All Pro. 2022, 5 total touchdowns. 2023, 12 total touchdowns. And then last year, it's like he takes a year off each and every time. And I guess you just hope you get closer to that even or that odd year Deebo that you've gotten before.
So he's an odd year guy. Deebo's an odd year guy.
Opposite of the San Francisco Giants. I guess my thought on Deebo is
oh, good. They're an even year team. Last year was their good year.
Last year was which was 500.
Yeah. Okay. God.
Deebo can't. I think at this point was so frustrating this entire year and just with everything kind of being a diva throughout. But I guess his stock is as low as you can get. And at this point, I think it's only upside. Like if he has a mediocre career or year in 2025, I think it's going to look so much better for how poor he played this year. And I think the offense overall.
And I would say, like, is his stock at an all-time low in Kyle's mind? Because that's really what matters, right? I don't know. I mean, it's not high. And again, I think they would have traded him or Ayuk. They would have traded Deebo with it. Remember, there was that rumor like beginning of I think it was the day of the second round of the NFL. It was like Friday morning, the NFL draft. Like, I think Silver, somebody was like, they're taking calls on Deebo. And they heard what the offers were. They're like, no, this isn't any good. Those offers haven't gotten better in the last year.
Yeah. And then, at this point, you have the offense, you have the team. You just hope everyone's healthy. And according to Christian McCaffrey's dad, he's fully healthy. And, you put all the pieces back together and see what happens, because $5 million for this team, I don't know, unless you can compile a couple of those and get a great safety and a great linebacker. I think you're rolling it back with Deebo. And the question is, how focused is he on the offense? Like, is he in the number 2 option behind McCaffrey again?
I mean, I think it's all the same.
Just roll it back.
You try and get the ball in space. You're getting Kittle the ball. I think you're getting Pearsall more involved. He ended the year with some momentum. So I would say that Ricky ended the year with some momentum. And I was glad to hear Ed McCaffrey say that, but I thought it was alarming to hear Fred Warner say, because I think we all kind of wondered, did McCaffrey know that he wasn't totally healthy and that's why they got the Niners to sign an extension? But to hear Fred Warner talk the other day, he was like, no, it shocked Chris. Like, Christian thought he was good to go. So that's a little alarming to hear that. Like, just remember that when it's June or July or August, it's like Christian feels 100%. Like, okay, let's just get to week 1.
Right. Yeah.
Let's
Not
get
gonna
to
believe
week
it till I
one.
see it. Yeah.
No, I'll believe it, but it's just with with these Achilles, it's just I think you can feel great and then you're not great. And it's scary. So
I think actually goes back to full circle Debo here. That's probably another reason why Debo's going to remain on the Niners. Because Kyle can force feed him the ball. He's done it before with giving the ball on running downs, even though it's looked really bad the last year. But I think that's another reason why he'll stay.
yeah.
The
Toronto's not
uncertainty.
healthy. Yeah, there is a lot of can't stay healthy. There's just a lot of uncertainty. Yeah. I think he's back.
I do as well. And the for the record, a gut reaction seeing Debo in a Eagles jersey sucks,
Oh
but
yeah.
like, or it's just like, come on, like he knows what he's doing. He's doing it for attention, for clicks, but I'm not that fired up about it
You're not that worried
overall.
about it? It doesn't
No,
bother you?
no.
No?
Maybe it
A
should a
little
little bit
bit.
more,
I
but
feel like a little more than you're saying, I feel like.
I think it's 6 wins, kind of like broke down further.
Yeah.
Maybe if they maybe if they lost to the Eagles or something like that, but yeah, it doesn't bother me that much. By the way, Fred Warner at Radio Row, he sounds good. He sounds good in the media.
He's got a podcast and he's got this ad now. What's that ad him and his wife do for
Experian?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
See, it works.